So good evening, everyone. Great. So I can see 30 of you there in the live chat, right? Yeah. So guys, am I audible? Everyone, please write in the chat yes or no. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. So great. So guys, anyone has any doubt in the yesterday session? Anything you are not able to understand in the yesterday session? So in the yesterday session, we have discussed about the brief history of Java, what is class and object, and we saw what is this public static void main, this is JDK part, the setup part, right everyone? So the today's session will be about the variable. So give me 1 minute. Here. So let me share my screen, right? Great, great. So here, my screen is visible, right? So yesterday, so here, right? Variable. So let's discuss the agenda. That is, it will be the variable part, right? Different kind of variable. Okay, how it gets stored behind the scene. After that, we have to be moving toward the control statement, right? This one. Yeah, great. So guys, according to third yesterday, please write in. So variable is what, guys? Uh, is there any background noise coming from my side? So now I'm a voice is breaking, right? Let me see. And just like, hello, hello. Voice is breaking, right? You're not audible. Okay, now I'm audible, right? Let me know if again it is breaking, right? I think there was some now proper, right? Yeah. Yes. Memory location, right? Named memory memory location. Why we are giving a name to a memory location? This memory location is acting as a container, and in that memory location we can store different kind of data. Store data in it, right? And why we are storing data? Why we are storing data, guys? So that we can use the data again and again, right? See. Let me join again, right? 1 minute, guys. Uh, uh, yes. So, guys, can you confirm now whether my voice is audible? Now it is audible, guys. Please write in the chat if. Keen also. Yeah, great. So now am I audible, right? Yeah. So, guys, we are discussing about the variable. Okay, so it is a named memory location. Memory location means what? It is a container that is used to hold data inside it, right? And why we are holding the data? So that we can reuse the data again and again, right? Reuse the data again and again, right, everyone? So this is about the variable part. So we have different kind of variable. Let's take the example. So let's assume I have a data 10, okay? And what I want to do the addition on this data 10, that is I want to add 5 to it, right? I want to do the subtraction on this data 10. That is, I want to, let's assume I want to subtract 7 to the same data. So here you can see we have operation on it, right? So here, what I will do, I will store the data somewhere so that I can reuse the data, right? And how I can store the data somewhere? It is, my voice is breaking. Hello? Yeah. Can you guys confirm my voice is clear or not? My voice is not breaking, right? While I'm presenting the audio, then it breaks, right? Okay. Let me see that part also. Eh, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. Now it is clear, right? Can you guys confirm whether it is clear or not? Kumar is there. Yeah, it is clear now, right? So let me share the screen again, right? Let me see. Hmm, okay, now it is not getting shared. 1 minute, guys. Let me see. I have. Okay, why it is not getting shared? Hmm. Hmm. Give me 2 minutes, guys. Let me see why it is not getting shared. The screen is like, yeah. Now the screen is shared, right? And my voice is also audible, right? Yeah. So let's start with the part. Okay. So what happens? What we have to do? We have the data 10 and we want to add 5 to the data 10. And similarly, we want to subtract 7 to the data 10. And similarly, we want to multiply 2 with the data 10. So here we have to reuse the data again and again. Okay. So in order to, okay. So now my voice is clear, guys. Please write in the chat if it is clear now. Since I have to reuse the data, so I will use the power of a variable, right? So here data type. Okay, we have the data type. After that we have the name of the variable and variable, right? Declaration of variable here. So if I have to store integer kind of data, okay, if I have to store integer kind of data, what I can do, I have to write the data type as int here, right? After that the name can be anything. Yeah. Okay, I have okay. So now it is clear, right? I don't know server itself. I am facing the problem. It is like my network connection is good. Yeah. So let me share the screen, right? Okay. So here what I want to store integer kind of data, right? So the data type will be what? It will be int. After that I have to write the name of the variable. Here the name of the variable is what? Let's assume the name of the variable is num here, right? So we have declared a variable of integer type. After that what I can do, I can assign a value to the variable, that is num is equal to 10, right? So here what we have done, first is the declaration part, and the second is what? It is a initialization part. Okay, it is a initialization part. So I have written two lines, right? So you can write in one line also, that is you can declare a variable and initialize at the same time, that is int num is equal to 10, like this. Okay, so what you are doing, you are declaring a variable, at the same time you are assigning a value to it, right? So here what we have done, we have declared a variable of integer type and we are assigning a value to it, that is 10, right? So here you can see this is called the assignment operator. Okay, this is the assignment operator here. Okay, this is the data 10 and this is the name of the variable and this is the data type, right? And guys, this data type provide us a lot of information. So the first information this data type provide us is about what kind of data I can store inside the memory block, that is inside the container. Kind of data to store inside memory, right? The second information that I am getting here is about the size of the memory block. So here, what kind of data we are storing inside the memory block? Here we are storing integer kind of data inside the memory block, right? And the second is what? Size. Can you guys write in the chat how many byte integer occupy inside the computer memory? Please write in the chat, guys. Okay, let's see. Now my voice is audible, right? How many byte integer occupies inside the computer memory? Anyone from the audience? 1 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte. Okay, great. So it is 4 byte, guys. In case of integer occupies how many byte? 4 byte it occupies inside the computer memory. Okay. Like what is this byte? You have distance, right? You measure distance in kilometer. So 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter, right? Similarly, if you have to measure the capacity of a memory block, you have to measure in bytes. So 1 byte is equal to 8 bits, right? 8 bits here. So for integer occupy how many byte? 4 byte. Okay, till this point everyone is clear. The third information this data type provides us is about the range part. From what particular range to what particular range I can store the value in it. Okay, so here kind of data, size, and the range part, right? So this one, let me create a new page, right? So we have int num is equal to 10, right? So the moment this line will get executed, what will happen? There is a memory, right? You have RAM inside your memory, inside your computer memory. Okay, 4 byte will get allocated to this variable num. Let's assume here inside the memory, let's assume here 4 byte is available. Okay, 4 byte is available like this, like this. One block is equal to 1 byte. Okay, one block is equal to 1 byte. So how many block we have? We have 4 block. So total 4 byte will get allocated to this variable num. After that, what will happen? The moment this line will get executed, this data is in decimal format. Okay, this data is in decimal format. This data will get converted to the binary format. Okay, binary format means 0 and 1 format, right? Because the computer understands 0 and 1. And after converting to the binary format, this data will get stored inside the computer memory where 4 byte is allocated, and the name of the memory block is what? Num here. Okay, and there is some address also to this memory block. There is some address. Let's assume the address is 700, then this will be 701, this will be 702, this will be 703, and this will be 704, and this address is in hexadecimal format. Okay, hexadecimal format. Everyone is getting the point? So the data we are using is in binary format. Our computer the data we are using is in decimal format. Our computer understand binary format. So the decimal format data will get converted to the binary format data, and that data will get stored inside the computer memory. And the address is in hexadecimal format. Why the name of the variable is not binary? Okay, this is for the representation. Okay, like this it is not getting stored. Okay, like there are a lot of things happening behind the scene. Okay, to give a simple overviews, to give a simple high level definition key what happened behind the scene. That's why I have made this diagram. You are getting that point, Jagdish? Yeah. And the most important thing is what? This one, that is variables occupy memory inside the computer, right? Variable occupy memory, right? Variable occupy memory. Sir, what is hexadecimal format? Okay, so guys, you are familiar with the decimal format, binary format, and hexadecimal format. Okay, so let's talk about the decimal format. Let's give some minutes, right? So decimal format is what, guys? Okay, all the number that you use daily, that is your phone number and all, it is in decimal format. Why it is in decimal format? So any number, if you are able to create with the help of digit from 0 to 9, okay, 0 to 9, that number will be in decimal format, that is 96 9653, right? So these all numbers are in decimal format because these numbers are created with the help of digit from 0 to 9. And since how many options we have? We have total 10 options available. So the base of this decimal format is 10 here. Okay, similarly we have a can create number with the help of digit 0 and 1, that is 000, 010, 01. Okay, these all number are in binary format because here the number are created with the help of digit 0 and 1. Since I have just two options available, so the base of this number is what? 2 here. Okay, similarly we have hexadecimal format. Hexa decimal format. So if you are creating a number with the help of digit from 0 to 15, okay, 0 to 15, that number are called hexadecimal format. So here from 0 to 9 we have digits. 10 is represented as A, 11 is represented as B, 12 is represented as C, 13 is represented as D, 14 is represented as F, E, and 15 is represented as F here, right? So let's take one example, that is 13A C2, right? So this is in hexadecimal format, right? Everyone is clear with the binary format, decimal format, and the hexadecimal format. Here how many options we have? Total 16 options we have. So the base of this format is what? It is 16 here, right everyone? Yeah, after the execution the memory will be erased. Okay, everyone is clear till this point? Yes or no? Please write in the chat if it is clear. So let's talk about the second data type, that is character, right? Character here. So character is what? So for storing character we have to write the data type as char. After that we have to write the name of the variable. Let's assume the name of the variable is ch. After that the assignment operator, and in single quotes you have to write a single character. Okay, very important point, in single quotes you have to write a single character, that is a. Okay, so like this you can store data, that is character data. Okay, so here you have lowercase letter. If you are storing lowercase letter as character, you have to store in a single quotes and a single lowercase letter. Similarly you have uppercase character, right? Uppercase character, that is A, B, C, this one. Similarly, if you have to represent digit as a character, then again what you have to do, you have to take a single digit and you have to enclose that single digit in single quotes like this 0, 1, 2 here. Okay, similarly if you have to treat special symbol, okay, if you have to treat special symbol as character, if you have to treat special symbol as character, what you have to do, again you have to enclose that special symbol in a single quote, right? That is at the rate, question mark. So these all are what? Characters, right everyone? So here if I have to store the character, that is char ch is equal to a here, right? So what happens now? Again this character is telling us ki, hey, what kind of data we can store? Character kind of data we can store inside the computer memory. And what is the size of character, guys? Please write in the chat how much byte character occupies inside the computer memory. Anyone from the audience? 1 byte, 5 byte, 2 byte, 3 byte? 2 byte, correct. So character occupies 2 byte inside the computer memory. So what happens? The moment this line will get executed, what will happen, guys? Here you have the computer memory. In that computer memory, okay, in that computer memory 2 byte will get allocated, right? 2 byte will get allocated. There will be some address to it. Let's assume the address is 801, 802, this is 803, and here the name of the block is what? Ch. And what will happen? We have the character data. This character data will get converted to the ASCII code. Okay, ASCII code. from the sky table. From the sky table. So from the sky table, we have the sky code for each corresponding character, and this sky code is in decimal format. Okay, decimal format. So we have the character that get converted to the sky code that is in decimal format, and this sky code will get converted to the binary format. Okay, and this binary format will get stored inside the computer memory. Everyone is getting that point? Let me show you the sky table also, right? 1 minute. Here. So here, if you will search for a sky table, that is a sky table, okay, and images. So here, guys, you can see this sky table, right? This one. So if you will see this sky table here, then for each character that is small lowercase letter, okay, lowercase character, we have the corresponding sky value to it, right? That is, for A we have 97, for B we have 98. Similarly, if you will see for uppercase character, right, uppercase character, we have the corresponding sky value, that is for capital A it is 65, similarly for capital B it is 66. Similarly, if you will treat digit as a character, that is 0 1, so for 0 the sky value is what? Sky code is what? 48. For 1, the sky code is what? 49. Similarly, if you are treating special character, special symbol as character, we have the corresponding sky code in the sky table. Everyone is clear now? Yes or no? Please write in the chat. Okay, so now what I am trying to do here is, like, we will use a online compiler, right? So in order to use a online compiler, here you can write Java online compiler here, right? And you can open this one, that is this one, right? Anyone you can open. So basically I use this one, right? So here you have the online compiler, right? So in the online compiler you can write the code that is here. Okay, so what we have learned till now, we have learned about integer, that is int num is equal to 10, right? And we know if I have to store character, that is char ch is equal to a here, right? So after that, if I have to print system dot out dot println, right, and the value of num, and here okay, Jagdish sir, sorry for the interrupt. With the sky code shall be able to get sky to get character also. Yes, yes, you will be able to get the character also. Okay, you have to typecast that part. I will come to that part also, Jagdish. Okay, so here the value of num, and if you have to print English statement with the variable, what you have to do, you have to enclose the English statement within double quotes. After that you have to use plus, and after that the name of the variable. Here the name of the variable is what? Num. So we are concatenating the English statement with the variable, okay, like this, with the help of a plus operator, right? Similarly, if I have to print the value of ch, right, and here ch, right? So let's try to run the code and let's try to see whether we are getting the correct answer or not. So here you can see the value of num is 10 and the value of ch is a. Everyone is clear till this point, yes or no? Okay, so what we are trying to do, if we have to store integer data, we are using the data type as int. If we have to store character data, we are using the data type as char. Okay, what will happen now? Please write in the chat if it is clear till this point. Then what will happen if I will do this part, that is int num is equal to 10, okay, and let's take this one, and int num is equal to ch. Okay, so what output I will get now? Please write in the chat, guys. What will be the value of num and what will be the value of ch now? Sir, why are you using plus? Okay, I'm using plus here because if I have to print English statement, here you can see, right? I have to print some message. So that's why I'm including that message within double quotes. And at the same time, I have to print the data inside the variable. So in order to print the data inside the variable, I'm using the name of the variable. And in order to use the English statement and the variable, I'm concatenating that part. So you have to concatenate. You got the point now? Okay. If you got the point, then what will be the answer, guys? What answer I will get here? What will be the value of num? What will be the value of ch? Error. Okay. A, A. So here, ASCII value of A is 97, 97 and A. 97 and A. Correct. Okay. So here, guys, let's first try to run the code and then see like what output we are getting here, right? So here, you can see we are getting the value of num is 97 and the value of ch is a. Correct, we are getting the correct answer here, right? The value of num is 97 and the value of ch is a, so we are not getting any error here, right? So why, like, till now we have learned ki hey, integer data type is used to hold integer data, character data type is used to hold character data, but what I am doing here is like I am trying to store a character data inside a integer container. So why this thing is possible? Okay, let's try to understand this part, right? So here what we have, okay, we have char ch is equal to a. After that we have int num is equal to ch, right? So we are doing this part, right? So here we know character occupies 2 bytes inside the computer memory, so you can understand like this. You have a container, right? You have a container and this is a 2-liter container, right? This is a 2-liter container and the name of the container is ch, right? And you have a container that is of 4-liter, right? And inside the 4-liter container, okay, here you have the name of the container as num, and here what you are doing, char ch is equal to a, some water is stored inside it, right? You can assume like this ki hey, some water is stored inside it. Let's assume 2 liter of water is stored, right? That is the maximum water is stored inside the container, right? After that, tell me guys, if you will try to transfer the data, if you will try to copy this 2 liter of water and fill this 2 liter of water in the 4-liter container, can you guys tell me, is there any loss of data? Is there any loss of water? Loss of data? Please write in the chat. Is there any probability of loss of data? Probability. Okay. Probability of loss of data. Yes or no? No, correct. Since here what you have, you are trying to transfer the data from the smaller container to a larger container, and when you will perform such kind of stunt, then there is no probability of loss of data because we have a larger container here, right? So when there is no probability of loss of data, then my compiler will say ki hey, I will take care of this kind of conversion. I will take care of this kind of conversion. Programmer, you don't have to think of this part. Okay, what I will do, I will typecast it. Okay, I will typecast it, that is I will take care of this kind of conversion, and when compiler is taking this kind of conversion, this is called implicit typecasting. Okay, typecasting. So here you can see, right, the if I am printing the value of ch, we are getting a. If we are printing the value of num, we are getting 97. So ch is getting converted, the character a is getting converted to the value 97. So who is taking care of this kind of conversion? Who is converting this a to 97 to integer? This compiler is doing this kind of thing. Why compiler is doing this kind of thing? Because there is no probability of loss of data. Okay, and since compiler is implicitly doing this kind of conversion, that's why it is called implicit type conversion. And the second point is what? When this kind of conversion can happen, from smaller container to larger container. That is from smaller data type to larger data type. Then this kind of conversion is happening behind the scene. Everyone is clear? Yes or no? Please write in the chat. Can you repeat the implicit type conversion? It is like when we are trying to transfer the data from smaller container to a larger container, there is no probability of loss of data. When there is no probability of loss of data, compiler is saying ki, cool, I will take care of this kind of conversion, because here there is no loss of data. Okay, that's why compiler is doing this conversion, that is converting the character value to the integer value, right? That's why it is doing it is done implicitly, so that's why it is called implicit type conversion. Okay, and when this kind of conversion will happen, when we are trying to transfer the data from a smaller data type container to a larger data type container, right? Everyone is clear now? Yes or no? Please write in the chat. Everyone is clear? Yes. So if it is clear, guys, try to answer this question now, right? So let me change the scenario now, right? That is, now what I have a variable of integer type, that is int num is equal to 10, not 10, let's take 97 here, right? Int num is equal to 97 and char ch is equal to num. Now guys, what output I will get? If it is clear till this point, then what output I will get now? Let's see. So this time what I'm doing, I am having a variable num of integer type, and the data inside the num is what, 97. After that, at line number 7, I'm trying to store an integer value in a character container, right? The value of num is 97. Okay. Others, right? So what about others? Compiler error. Then why compile error? 97, 97 error. Okay. Those who are saying error, then why error? Error. Okay. Let's try to run the code and see like what we are getting now, right? So here guys, we are getting a error. Okay, if you will see what error we are getting now, we are getting incompatible type, possible loosey conversion from int to char. Okay, why we are getting this kind of error? Okay, previously in the previous scenario, we are not getting this kind of error. Okay, let's try to understand that point also, right? So now we have changed the scenario, and in this scenario, we have int num is equal to 97 and char ch is equal to num, right? Now this is the scenario, right? And we are getting the error. So let's try to draw this part. Okay, this time we are having a container. Okay, and the container is what it is, 4-liter container, that is 4-byte container is here, right? And the name of the container is what, num here. After that we have one more container that is of 2-byte, right? And the name of the container is what, ch. And there is some information stored inside the container. There is some information stored inside the container, right? And what we are doing at this line, what we are doing, we are trying to transfer the data from a larger container to a smaller container, right? We are trying to copy the data from the larger container to the smaller container. Guys, this time, is there any probability of loss of data? Please write in the chat. This time, is there any probability of loss of data? If I will try to transfer the data from a larger container to a smaller container, is there any probability of loss of data? Correct. This time we have the probability of loss of data. What if the container is having 3 byte, okay, 3 liter of water stored? Then what will happen? Here I have 2 liter of container, so some water will be overflowed. That is, some data will get lost, right? Some data will get lost. And when there is a probability of loss of data, then my compiler will say ki, hey programmer, I will not take care of this kind of conversion. Why? Because there is a chance of loss of data. Okay, so compiler will say ki, hey, I will not take care of this kind of conversion, so programmer has to take care of this kind of conversion, right? Programmer has to do this kind of conversion. So let's try to do this kind of conversion here, right? So we have to do this kind of conversion, and here, in order to convert number to a character, what we have to do, we have to explicitly typecast it, right? And how we can explicitly typecast it? With the help of a round bracket as prefix, and inside the round bracket we have to write the data type. In which data type I want to typecast? Here I want the integer data to get typecasted to the character, so here I will write the data type as char, right? I will write the data type as char. So this time, programmer, that is, I am taking the responsibility of converting integer to character. So when programmer is taking the responsibility, okay, this kind of conversion is called explicit kind conversion, right? So let's try to run the code, and let's see now we are getting the correct answer or not. So here we are getting the correct answer now, right? We are not getting any error here. Okay, so here what we have learned till now, we have learned about two type of conversion, that is two type of typecasting, that is implicit, okay, implicit typecasting and explicit typecasting. And when implicit typecasting can happen, when we are trying to copy the data from a smaller data type container to a larger data type container, then this kind of like implicit type conversion will happen. And here explicit type conversion will happen when we are trying to transfer the data from a larger data type container to a smaller data type container. First point. The second point is what? Since there is no probability of loss of data, no loss of data, okay, no loss of data, and here there is a probability of loss of data, right? And after that, since there is a probability of no probability of loss of data, so compiler will take care of this kind of conversion. And here programmer has to take care of this kind of conversion, right? These 3 points, and we are missing something, no, right? So yeah, everyone is clear with the implicit typecasting and the explicit typecasting? Yes or no? Please write in the chat. Char is for storing character, not variable. Variable is what? Variable is a named memory location, right? Okay. Can you repeat it again, Krishna? What you are not able to understand? What part? Okay, try to tell me that part, because again I will repeat the same thing. It will take a lot of time, right? Krishna, if you are not able to understand any point here, I will explain that point again. Okay? Please write in the chat. Everyone is clear till this point? So let's move to the next point, that is next data type, that is float here, right? So if I have to store decimal values, right? If I have to store decimal values, right? So how I can store decimal values? Decimal values means the number having decimal in it, right? So like 1.23, 1.23456, like, so these are all about decimal values, right? So if I have to store decimal values, okay, I will tell you this answer. Will sir, is Java enough for any kind of job? Okay, I will tell this answer after the session. Okay, let's first complete the session. Let's don't break the flow, right? So yeah, if I have to store decimal value, then what kind of data type I can use? I can either use float or double, right, everyone? Float or double. So float and double are used to store decimal values, right? Decimal kind of data, right? So here, can you guys tell me, by default in Java, decimal values are double or float? By default in Java, the decimal values are float or double? Please write in the chat. Coding part. Krishna, coding is like what I have done here, right? So coding, coding is simple, right? I have written a line, that is, I have declared a variable storing integer data. At the seven line, I am trying to store integer data in a character data, right? And here I am getting an error because I am trying to store a larger data type value to a smaller data type container, Krishna, right? So in order to remove that error, we have to explicitly typecast it, right? That is how I can explicitly typecast it, with the help of the prefix in which storage I want to store. Here I want to store the integer data in a character data type, right, Krishna? So that's why here I'm using the data type as char. Okay, and I have told you the reason why I'm doing this part, right? So here by default in Java, the decimal values are double. Okay, it is not float. Okay, everyone, it is double. So here we have double float, right? So let's write the syntax, that is float. F is equal to 1.234, and here we have double. D is equal to 2.34567, right? So here this one. So both are used to store decimal values, guys. Then what is the difference? Why we are using double? Okay, when both are used to store decimal values, then what is the difference, guys? The first difference is what? The size, right? Here float occupies 4 byte inside the computer memory, right? And double occupy 8 byte inside the computer memory, right, everyone? So if you have, tell me one thing, if you have a smaller container, that is 4-liter container, and you have 8-liter container, right? In which container you can store more data? In which container you can store more water? That is in 8-liter container, right? So here the range of double is greater as compared to float, right? Because here the size of the double is 8 byte, right? The second difference is what? Here you can in float is saying ki, hey, you can print up to 5 decimal digit, okay, up to 5 digit after decimal, digit after decimal, right? And here you can print up to 15 to 16 digit, 15 to 16 digit after decimal, right? After decimal. This is the second point. Let's try to understand the second point, and after that I will discuss the third point. Okay, so here let's remove this one, that is float. F is equal to 1.2345678, right? This one. And after that, okay, let's remove this line. If this is clear, guys, please try to answer what output I will get now. Okay, the value of F, and here F. Please write in the chat, guys. This is a question. What output I will get now? Let's see who all correctly answer this question. Error. Okay, why we will get an error? And what about others? Okay. So first time you are saying error, and after that, paradise, you are saying this answer. Okay, no error. Okay, there are people who are saying no error. There are people who are saying error. There are people who are saying exactly print. Okay. So guys, I have told you this point. By default, here you can see this point, right? 1 minute. Yeah, this one. So let's try to run the code, and after that I will explain that part, right? We will get an error. Okay, we will get an error. You can see the error here, right? Here you can see the error, and the same error. Incompatible type possible loosey conversion from double to float. Why? Because we know the decimal data are double by default. Okay, double by default. And double occupies how many byte? 8 byte, right? 8 byte. And what we are trying to do? We are trying to take a container. This is 8-liter container, and this is 4 byte container, right? And we are trying to transfer the data from 8 byte container. Give me 1 minute, guys. Okay, yeah, great. So what we are doing here, we are trying to transfer the data from an 8-byte container to a 4-byte container. And when we are trying to do this kind of stunt, then my compiler will say ki, hey, there is a probability of loss of data. And when there is a probability of loss of data, compiler will not take care of this kind of conversion. Compiler will say ki, hey, I will throw the error. So that's why compiler is throwing this error. And this kind of error is called compile time error. Everyone is getting this point? Yes or no? So in order to remove this error, what we have to do? We have to typecast it, right? So we have to convert this double data to a floating data. And how I can do that part? I have to typecast it like this, float, right? This one. And if I will run the program now, I will not get the error, right? So here you can see I'm getting the output, right? That is the value of f is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everyone is clear why we are not getting the error and why we need to typecast, right? So let's do the double one also. That is double d is equal to 1.2345678 this one, right? Yeah, this one. And let's take the same data here also, this one. Okay, this one. And let's copy this part. Okay, and let's paste this one, right? And this is d, this is d. Can you guys write in the chat now what output I will get? If it is clear till this point, now what output I will get? Correct. Yeah. So that's why Paradise I have given this question, right? So what output I will get now, guys? Exact same value of float and double, or what difference I will get here? Anyone from the audience? Same value for both. Narendra, for float and double, for both we will get the same value. No, 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 no. Like I have explained this point, right? Float can print up to 5 digit after decimal, and double can print up to 15 to 16 digit after decimal, right? So here, if I will run the code, let's see the answer, right? Run the code. So here you can see, guys, here the value of f is what? It is 1.2345676, right? And here the value of d is what? 1 dot total this one. So if you will count number of digit after decimal, it is up to 5 to 6. And here if you will count number of digit after decimal, it is up to 15 to 16. And if you will notice one more point here, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, it is correct, right? Yeah, it is correct. Everyone is clear now? So one more thing. Yeah. Okay, great. So it is clear, right? So the second point is clear, guys. 4 byte, 8 byte, 5 digit after decimal, 15, 16 digit after decimal, and by default, decimal data are double. Right, everyone? After that, here, this float is less accurate and this is more accurate, right? Accuracy. Why it is less accurate and why it is more accurate? Tell me one thing. If you have 5 digit after decimal, that is 2 3 4 5 6, and you have 10 digit after decimal, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So which data is providing us a good amount of information? This, right? So that's why this is more accurate as compared to the above one, right? So this is the third difference between float and double. Everyone is clear with the float and double. After that, we have the next data type, that is Boolean, right? Boolean here. So Boolean is here. And if you want to store true and false value, you can use Boolean, right? If you want to store true and false value, you can use Boolean here. Everyone is clear till this point? Yes or no? Please write in the chat. After that, the homework is what? Here you can see, guys. Here you can see the table, right? So you can search for data type in Java on the net. Okay, you will get this table here, right? So here you can see byte, char, short, int, right? And if you will notice this point here, this one, right? So here Boolean is used to store true and false value. byte is used to store two complement integer, and here remove this part, right? Char is used to store character. Short, int, long is used to store integer value. The difference is what? The difference is between the size, right, and the range part. So you have to explore this part by your own, okay? And after that you can see float and double, right? So we have discussed all the thing, right? And here you can see up to 7 decimal digit, okay, and here up to 16 decimal digit, right? Yeah, correct. So this is about the data types, okay. Now let's move to the next session, that is control statement, right? Control statement here. Why we need to go like short and long, okay? Let me give one example, okay? Try to explore that part, okay? Tell me one thing. Who have asked this question? Jagdish, right? Jagdish, tell me here. Let me see the, okay, so here if you will notice one point, this one here. So if you will notice, short occupies 16 bits, that is 2 byte. 2 byte is equal to 16 bits, right? And integer occupies 32 bits, and long occupy 64 bits, right? So we have short. Short occupy how many bits? It occupies 16 bits. So 16 bits means 2 byte, right? And integer occupies how many bit? It occupies 32 bits. 32 bits means 4 byte, right? 1 byte is equal to 8 bit. And we have long, right? We have long. That is long occupy 64 bits, that is 8 byte. Right, everyone? So tell me one thing. Okay, Jagdish, here like all the three are used to store integer value, okay? All the three are used to store integer value. It is up to you how you are using this short, int, and long. Tell me one thing. If you have to store a long data, right? Let's assume you have to store the age. Let's assume you have to store the age, right? So the age is what? The age can never go beyond 100, right? It can never go beyond 100 or 200. Okay, let's assume you can live up to 200. So it will never go beyond 200. So here like the range is very low, right? The range is very less, and here you can see the range also. If you will see the range part, the range of short is what? It is minus 32,768 to 32,768, and the range of integer is what? It is minus 2 into 2, 2 into 10 to the power 9 to 2 into 10 to the power 9. And here the range of long is what? It is like greater than 2 into 10 to the power 9. So here 33.2. Okay, so here the range is what? The range is from minus 3.2 into 10 to the power 4 approx, right? I'm correct, right? 1 2 3 4, yeah, it is minus 3.2 into 10 to the power 4 to 3.2 into 10 to the power 4. And here for byte, sorry, for integer, the range is what? Minus 2 into 10 to the power 9 approx to 2 into 10 to the power 9, right? And here for long, the range is what? It is greater than 10 to the power 9, right? It is greater than 10 to the power 9, right? So tell me, if you have to store age, if you have to store the information of age, which primitive data type you will use? Since you know age is an integer, okay, integer, and all short, int, and long are using age. Jagdish, tell me which data type you will use if you have to store age. Okay, anyone from the audience? If I have to store age and short, int, and long, all the three are capable of storing integer data. Int. So guys, here you can see, right? Age, the age can never go beyond 200, right? So this 200 is what? It is lying in this range also, in this range also, in this range. The difference is what? Between the size. So you want to like optimize the space, right? You want to optimize the space, so you will go with short, right? You will go with short because here all the three are used to store integer value, and this 0 to 200 is lying in all the three one, so you will go with short. You are getting that point? If I will tell you ki, hey, you have to store this 91 965306589, this data. Here you can see the number are like all the digits are more than 10 to the power 9. So here if you have to store phone number, let's assume if you have to store phone number, you will use long here. You are getting the point? Yes or no? Jagdish, now it is clear? Yes. And try to explore that part. There are a lot of use case you will get on the net, right? So now let's move to the next part, that is control statement. So guys, why we need control statement and what is this control statement? Anyone from the audience? What is this control statement and why we need a control statement? Try to answer everyone, right? I can see only 7 to 8 of you are answering in the chat. Try to answer everyone, then you will get the clear understanding. If you are like having any misconception about any concept, then it will get cleared, right? To check condition, great. To control the flow of execution, correct. So Narendra is correct. Okay, control statement is used to control the flow of the execution, right? To control the flow of execution. So Narendra, if you are saying ki, hey, I have to control the flow of execution, that's why we use control statement. But what is the need of controlling the flow of the execution? Tell me, what is the need of controlling the flow of execution? To control the flow of execution, we need control statement. But what is the need? The need is what? By default, in Java, in C++, in C, the execution happen in a sequential order. Okay, it happens in a sequential order. Sequential order means it will start from the main function, and from the main function it will execute line by line, that is from top to bottom in the sequence, right? In the sequence. But there will be a lot of different scenario. When you are solving a problem statement, there will be a lot of different scenario. The first scenario is what? There may be a case where you have to skip a part of a code, skip a part of code, okay, on the basis of some condition, on the basis of condition, right? You have to skip a part of a code on the basis of some condition. Or there may be some cases where you have to execute the same logic again and again, same logic again and again. Or there may be some cases where you have to jump from one part to another part of the code, right? To jump from one part to another part of the code, right? So there may be different situation, that is the first situation, second situation and third situation, where you don't want the default flow of execution, right? And in order to tackle these cases, we have control statement, right? So we have three kind of control statement. That is, the first one is what, guys? It is selection statement. So if I have of some condition, then we use selection statement. That is, we have three selection statement: if else, if if, switch case and nested if, right? Similarly, if I have to execute a part of the logic again and again, I will go with the iterative statement, right? Iterative statement. And if I have to jump from one part of the code to another part of the code, I will use jump statement. Everyone is getting the point? Why we need this kind of and what is this control statement and what is the definition? Everyone is clear, right? So let's try to discuss about the selection statement, right? So we have selection statement. Selection statement. So when I can use selection statement, when we have to skip a part of a code on the basis of some condition, then I can go with the selection statement, right, everyone? So we have different selection statement. The first one is what? It is if else, okay, and we have if else if, and we have nested if, and we have switch case, right? So let's try to understand the first one, and after that, with the help of a project, we will try to understand the second and third one. Okay, so here if else, can you guys write in the chat when I can use if else? In the problem statement, Okay, when I have to think yes, I can use if else. Please write in the chat. Anyone from the audience? When I can use if else, till that time I'm writing the syntax. So here the syntax is what? You have to write if keyword. After that, the condition part. And here you have open and close bracket and else part. This one, right? That is body of if. And you have body of else, right? Body of else. Correct. So when I can use if else, when there is only two options available, only two options available, and I have to choose only one option among them. Available, okay, and I have to choose only one option among them, then I can go with the if else. Okay, remember this point, right? And here what will happen? You have if block. In the if, you have the condition part, and if this condition is true, that means you will execute the body of if. You will execute the body, the code that is written inside this curly bracket, okay, if the condition is true. And after executing the body, you will skip the else part. Skip this part, okay, if the condition is true. And if the condition is false, you will skip the body of if and you will execute the else part. Everyone is getting the point? Let's try to understand this with the help of example, right? So what I have to do? I have to check whether the number is even or odd, right? Whether number is even or odd, right? So again, here I have a number, right? And this number, on this number I have to take a decision whether the number can be even or the number can be odd, right? So here on this number I have two options, right? Either to execute this part of the code or to execute this part of the code, right? So I have two options available and I have to choose one option among them on the basis of the condition. And here the condition is what? I have to check whether the number is even or odd, right? And what I will like, in order to check, I will check now n modulo 2 is equal to 0. If this condition is true, that means the number is even. And if this condition is false, that means the number is odd. Everyone is having some understanding of modulo operator. Anyone from the audience who is not having any idea about the modulo operator, please write in the chat. About the modulo operator, everyone is clear? Anyone has any doubt about the modulo operator? You can take the decimal value also, right? Remainder, no. So Bahubali is not having the idea. Okay, Mahendra Bahubali or Amrendra Bahubali? Okay, yes or sir. Yeah. So let me discuss that part also, right? So here, let's take a number, right? Let's take 7. So if I will divide 7 with 2, right? 7 by 2. So 2 3s are 6 and I have 1. So guys, this is what? This is what? This is remainder. And this is what? This is quotient, right? So in computer, if I want the quotient, then I have to write like this: 7 divided by 2. This will give me the quotient part, that is 3. If I want the remainder, then I will write 7 modulo 2. Then what I will get? I will get the remainder part, right? Remainder part, and this is a quotient part. So why I have written n modulo 2 is equal to 0? Because I know if the number is completely divisible by 2, that number is called a even number. And when the number is completely divisible by 2, when the remainder is 0. So if I will take 6, 6 is completely divisible by 2, that is 2 3s are 6, and I will get the remainder as 0. So what I know, ki, hey, if the remainder is 0, that means that number is completely divisible by 2, right? So here, if the left hand side part is equal to right hand side part, that means the number is completely divisible by 2, and in that case I will print even number. And if this is not the scenario, I will go in the else part and I will print odd number, right? So let's try to do that part, and after that we will move to the next one, right? So here, this one, right? So here I will take a number that is int n is equal to 7, right? After that, if n modulo 2 is equal to 0, that means the number is a even number, right? System dot out. Why it is an even number? If this condition is true, right, that means that number is a even number. And if the condition is true, that means I am inside the if block. And if I am inside the if block, that means I have to print even number because the condition is true, right? System dot out dot print ln, right? And here what I will print? I will print ki hey even number, right? And in the else part, what I will do? I will print ki hey it is a odd number, not a even number. Everyone is clear? Anyone has any doubt till this point, please write in the chat. Anything you are not able to understand till this point, please write in the chat. Till that time I'm like executing the code, right? So here you can see I'm getting the odd, right? Why I'm getting the odd? Let me try run the code. So here, this one. So I have 7. 7 modulo 2 is equal to 0. 7 modulo 2, it will give the remainder as 1. 1 is equal to 0. That means the left hand side is not equal to right hand side. That means this condition is false. And if this condition is false, that means I will skip this part of the code and I will execute this part of the code. That is odd will get printed on the output screen. Everyone is clear? Yeah. So let's move to the next one. That is 1 minute. So let's take one more problem statement, right? So everyone has used ATM machine, right? So in the ATM machine, okay, before going to the ATM machine code, okay, example. Yeah. So before going to the ATM machine example, what we can do is like, let's understand how we can take input from the user. We know with the help of system.out.println, we can print anything on the output screen, right? So if I have to take input from the user, can you guys write in the chat how I can take input from the user? So yesterday we have discussed about class and object, right? Class and object. And the key point of class is what? Class is a blueprint, right? Class is a blueprint that defines the properties and behavior of an object. And object is what? Object is a real world entity with the help of which we can access, we can use the properties, we can use the functionality that are defined inside a class, right everyone? This we have learned in the yesterday class. Without having the object, we can't access the properties and functionality of a class, right? We have taken the example of a house, right? Tejas is building that house, right? More about modulo operator. Like modulo operator is used to, like, just modulo operator is used to give us the remainder part, right? So if I will write one more example here, that is this one, 3 and I have 8. So here 3 to the 6, right? And I have 2, right? So here the remainder is what? 2. And if I have want the remainder part, this part, then I will take 8 modulo 3. What I will get? I will get 2 as my remainder. Okay. So class and object is clear, right? So what I want to take input from the user now, right? I want to take input from the user. Input, right? From user. Okay. So Abhay is here, and Abhay is saying, ki, hey, I have to take now, like it is now time, and I want the input from the user. I don't want to again and again pass a fixed value to a variable, right? So Abhay will do what? Abhay is here, and Abhay will type on the keyboard, right? Abhay will type on the keyboard. So when when Abhay will type, that something will get stored inside buffer. Okay, buffer is a storage, right? Buffer is a storage, and that something will get stored inside the buffer. Everyone is clear till this point? Yes or no? Okay. So let me write the syntax first, right? So what happens? We have a syntax that is with the help of a scanner class, we can take input from the user. That is scanner sc is equal to new scanner, and this is system.in, right? System.in. So this is a syntax of creating the object of a scanner class. Okay, this is a syntax of creating the object of a scanner class. That is, here this part is the name of the class, right? And after that, this is a reference variable, and this new keyword is used to create object. Okay, it is used to allocate memory to the object. Okay, it is used to allocate memory to the object, and this scanner is a special method, and the name, like, this is a special method, and we call this method as constructor, right? Constructor. Okay, so basically we are creating the object of a scanner class. Okay, we are having the reference variable, but why we are creating the object of a scanner class? Because what, like, let's assume Abhay want integer data, so Abhay will type, let's assume 234, right? 234. So that 234 will get stored inside the buffer, 234, like this, right? And now Abhay want this data as integer, right? Or let's assume, like, Abhay want the data as integer, and after some time he want Abhay, right? Abhay. Or he want, let's assume he want the data as float, that is 2.34. So this 2.34 will get stored inside the buffer, and he wants the data as float, or he wants the data as double. Like, there is a use case where he wants the data from the user as double, right? Similarly, there will be the use case where he want the data as string, right? So what he's doing, Abhay is typing something, that something will get stored inside the buffer, and then he wants the data in the respective data type, that is either integer, either in float, either in double, either in string. So this part, that is, this part is what? Here Abhay is taking from the Abhay is taking input from the keyboard. So here the standard input device is what? Keyboard. So in order to take input from the keyboard, we are using system.in. Okay, system.in is taking care of this part, right? That is taking input from the keyboard and storing that input inside the buffer. After that, I want the data either in integer, either in float, either in double, either in string, right? And how I can get the data? How I can get the data from buffer and convert that data to the integer format? This functionality is already written inside the scanner class. So we have a scanner class like this. You can assume this is a scanner class, right? Inside the scanner class, we have different methods, and inside that method, the code is already written to convert the data from the buffer to integer, to convert the data from buffer to float, to convert the data from buffer to double, right? And here we have different methods. That is, we have next int, that is used to take input, used to take the data from the buffer and convert the data into integer format. Similarly, we have next double, that is used to take the data from the buffer and convert the data into double. Similarly, we have next float. Okay, we have next line to take the data and convert into string. Similarly, we have next boolean and all, right? So the functionality, the code is already written. What we have to do, we have to use that functionality. We don't have to write this code to take the data from the buffer and convert this. Right? And this is a syntax. And now if I want the data as integer, what I will do, I will write the reference variable, after that the dot operator, and after that the name of the method that is used to take the data from the buffer and convert the data into integer. Here next int is used to do that part, so I will write next int here, right? So sc dot next int will do what? It will take the data from the buffer and convert that data into integer format, and it will give me the integer value. So now what I have to do, I have to store that integer value somewhere, and that somewhere is what? Our variable. So here I will create a variable of integer type. Similarly, if I want the data as float, what I will do, I will write sc dot next float, right? And this will give me the, it will take the data from the buffer and convert the data into float, right? And here I will store the data in a float variable. Everyone is clear now? Yes or no? Please write in the chat how to take input from the user. Okay, let me show you this part also. Anyone has any doubt? Okay, so yeah, I will tell you that part also. So scanner SC is equal to new scanner, and we have what? We have system dot in, right? After that, what I want the data is integer, so I can write int num is equal to sc dot next int, right? So let's try to print the data here, right? That is system dot out dot println, and here I want the data as num, right? So this one, and after that, if I will hit on the run button, you can see I will get a error. Okay, let's see. Okay, we are not, okay, we are getting an error, and here what error we are getting? Cannot find symbol scanner. So guys, my program is not able to identify scanner class. So what happens? This scanner class, okay, scanner class is what? It is a program, right? It is a program, it is some code. So this code is written inside a util folder. So we have a util folder. In that util folder, this scanner class is written. So what I have to do? I have to use this util folder inside my program. And in order to do that part, what I have to do? I have to write import. And after that, I have to write java.util.scanner, right? So in order to use scanner class inside my program, I have to import that scanner class, right everyone? Like this. Okay, let's try to run the code again. So now here you can see the like this part is blinking, right? So here let's take the input, that is 1 2 3 4. So this 1 2 3 4 will get stored inside the buffer, and the moment I will hit on the enter button, that something in the buffer will get converted to the integer format, because here I'm using next int, right? So let do that part, and here you can see I'm getting the answer as 1 2 3 4. That is, the data that is stored inside num is what? 1 2 3 4. Everyone is clear now how to take input from the user and store that input inside the variable? Yeah. So अब why do we use scanner class यार? अनिरुद्ध अब ऐसा मत बोलो यार कि मतलब मैंने पूरी कथा सुना दी और तुम बोल रहे हो कि हीरो कौन है? या Anirudh, it is like let me again tell you that part, right? यार तुमने तो एकदम से थ्योरी, मुझे लगा कि सबको समझ में आ गया. इट इज लाइक अनिरुद्ध इज सेइंग कि ये व्हाट इज दिस स्कैनर क्लास, व्हाई वी आर यूजिंग द स्कैनर क्लास, बिकॉज Anirudh, it is like I will take the example of Anirudh. Okay, Anirudh is here and Anirudh is saying कि, hey, why we want the scanner class, right? So Anirudh, you have to use a home, right? You have like you want a home, right? So what you do? You go to the like, in order to use the home, you have to go inside the home, right? In order to use the bedroom and all, in order to in order to use the kitchen and all, right? So this house is what? It is an object, right? Okay, with the help of the object you are able to access the bedroom, you are able to access the kitchen, right? Yeah. So this bedroom and this kitchen are what? It is the properties and functionality of the object, and this properties and functionality are implemented in a class. So you can assume like this: you have a scanner class. Inside the scanner class you have the method nextInt, and you want to use this method nextInt to take the data from the buffer and convert that data into integer format, right? So that's why you are using sc.nextInt. Okay, Anirudh? No issue, Anirudh. It is like when I'm the like when I have started the coding, then also I also got stuck there, right? A lot of time. So it is very good कि you are asking the question, right? Okay, and ये habit हमेशा रखो अपने पास, right? It will benefit you in the long run. बस ये करना कि if you have any question, try to answer in between itself, right? Because after the story, like again, if I have to repeat the story, it will be very like समझा करो यार, ठीक है? That part also. For CAD, what you can use? Good question. So here you can see like if I will okay search for the method in scanner class. Okay, so here you can see we have next double, we have next byte, we have next short, right? And if I will open this rows, so here this one, right? Let me open this part here. Here, okay, promotion. Let me remove this one, right? So here, next long, next short, and this one. Read a word. Okay, if you want to read a word from the user, you can use next, and here next int, right? So next. So basically, you can use next here. Okay, next to take input from the like to take a character, right? Yeah, it is like Anirudh, like it is a very good question. Okay, मैं बस मजाक कर रहा था. Okay, so so let's move to the second part. That is, let's try to discuss about the ATM machine now, right? So ATM machine is what? So everyone has used ATM machine, right? We have the ATM machine, and when we go to the ATM machine, then we have options, right? That is, please choose option one to add money to the bank account, to credit money to the bank account. We have option two to debit money from this option is saying कि है invalid choices, right? Invalid choices, right? So here we have the ATM machine, and let's take the example ki hai bank account, right? This bank account, and in the bank account we have some money inside it, right? That is money is what? 3,000 rupees. Let's assume we have initially 3,000 rupees inside my bank account, right? So if I will choose option one, that is credit, if I want to add some more money to my bank account, then what happens? I have to input that money. Let's assume I have to input 5,000 rupees. So 5,000 rupees plus 3,000 rupees. So the total amount in the bank account will be what? 8,000 rupees. So it should get updated to 8,000 rupees. Similarly, for option two, okay, 1 minute. Yeah, yeah. For option two, we have to debit, right? And in order to debit, what we do, like again, when you are debiting something, then there is some cases, right? Let's assume ki here again we have 3,000 rupees, right? 3,000 rupees. And option two is saying ki hey debit. In the debit part, what we have, either if let's assume I want 5,000 rupees, I want to debit 5,000 rupees. So the amount I want to debit is greater than the amount that I have in the bank balance. So if this is a situation, then what I have to print? I have to print insufficient fund on the output screen, right? And here, if the amount I want to debit is less than the bank balance account, then I can debit that part, right? Let's assume I want to debit 2,000 rupees. So what will happen? 3,000 rupees is there inside my account, and from this 3,000 rupees, I want to debit 2,000 rupees. So 1,000 rupees will be left in my bank account, right? So these two options are there, and we have option three also, right? Option three is saying ki hey, if option one and option two is not there, then you have to print invalid choice, okay, invalid option on the output screen, right? So here we have to implement this use case, right? So let's first introduce the concept of if else if, and after that I will come back to this question, right? So okay, so what is this if else if? Guys, can you write in the chat when I can use if else if? Okay, in which scenario I can use if else if? Till that time I'm writing the syntax. Okay, let's see in which scenario, guys, I can use if else if. That is, if condition 1, okay, else if condition 2, else if condition 3. right? Like this, you have multiple else if condition, and at the end you have else part, right? At the end you have the else part. So here, when I can use else if, guys? When two condition is not applied. Okay, when you have more than two options available, more than two options available, and from these two options available you have to choose only one option among them, one option among them, right? Then you can use if else if, right? Then you can use if else if. When you have only two options available and you have to choose only one option among them, then go with if else. If you have more than two options available and you have to choose only one option among them, go with if else if, right? So here what will happen, uh, here condition will be checked, and if the condition is true, then what you will do, you will execute the corresponding if block, and after that you will skip the remaining else if part. The moment the condition is true for that if block will get executed, and after that the remaining will get skipped. Everyone is clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, so let's try to understand this part. Now let's go to the ATM machine. So here, guys, if the if else part is clear, so tell me here, if you will see this whole diagram, then here you can see one point, that is I have three options available, right? When I will go to the ATM machine, I have three options available and I have to choose only one option among them. Three options available and one option I have to choose. So the moment you have more than two options available and you have to choose only one option among them, what you can use here to tackle this part, you can use if else if, right? And if you will see this part, that is this part inside the option 2, you have two options available, right? You have two options available and you have to choose only one option among them. So in order to tackle this part, what you will use, you will use if else, right? And you know how you can take input from the user, you know how you can add money, you know how you can subtract money, right? So the problem statement is clear and somewhat the code is also clear, right? What we have to do. So let's try to tackle this part first, and after that we will tackle this part, right everyone? Okay, great. So let's move to the code, right? So here what I will do, yeah, so here let's print a message on the output screen, right? That is, hey, we want a ATM machine project, so system.out.println, and here we have a message that is if okay, press 1, okay, enter 1, okay, not, yeah, enter 1 to add, to credit, right, 2 to subtract, right, 2 to debit, right? After that what I will do, I will create a variable that is option, and in that option variable I will take the input from the user, whether option 1, option 2, or any other key, right? So here we have option 1, option 2, right? After that, here I will write a check, that is if option 1 option is equal to 1, then I want to add, here I want to add, right? Else if option is equal to 2, then I have to debit, right? That is debit here. Else invalid choice, right? So here I will print invalid choice, right? System dot out dot println, and here I will print invalid option, right? Right? So this is clear till this point. Now let's try to do the first if, that is I want to add something, right? So first I will print a message to the user ki, hey, this one, please enter the amount you want to add, right? Enter amount to add, right? And after that what I will do, I will take the input from the user, and in order to take the input from the user I will use a reference variable sc dot, I will take the input in the integer format. So for that I want next int, right? Next int. and this will give me the input from the user in integer format. And after that, this will return a value, that is integer value. I will store that value inside amount. Int amount is equal to sc dot next int. So I got the amount from the user. So what I have to do, I have to add this amount to the current bank balance. So what I will do, I will create a variable that is bank balance, right? And inside bank balance, let's assume we have 3000 rupees, right? And here what I will do, amount plus bank balance, right? So whatever answer we will get, again I will store the answer in the same container, and the container name is what? Bank balance, right? So this one I will update the amount in my bank balance. So bank balance is equal to amount plus bank balance, right? And in the second case, that is if I want to debit, right? In that case, again I will print a message that is, hey, enter amount to debit, right? Debit. And after that, I will take input from the user, that is the amount, and here I will tackle the second part, that is, hey, if the amount is greater than the bank balance, right? If the amount is greater than the bank balance, then what I will print? I will print ki, hey, in where like insufficient fund, right? So here I will print insufficient fund, insufficient fund, right? And in the else part, what I will do, if this condition is not true, that means the amount is less than equal to the bank balance. So what I will do, I will subtract the amount, that is bank balance minus amount, and whatever result I will get, I will store the result in the same container, that is bank balance here, right? Bank balance, and my work is done, right? My work is done here. Let's try to run the code, and if you have any question, please write in the chat. Okay, please, here you can see enter 1 to credit, 2 to debit. Okay, let me print one more thing, that is the total amount in the bank balance, right? So here let me, after the if else I will print system dot out dot println, and here bank balance here, right? And here I will write the bank balance, that is bank balance, right? This one. So let's try to run the code again. So here you can see enter 1 to credit, 2 to debit. So let's choose one first. Okay, so here you can see enter amount to add. Okay, let's type 5000 rupees. I want 5000 rupees, right? I want to add 5000 rupees. So here you can see the bank balance is what? 5000 plus 3000, that is 8000 rupees is getting printed on the output screen, right? Similarly, if I will run the program again, and let's choose 2, right? Okay, this time let's choose 2, this one 2. Okay, so here it is saying ki, hey, enter the amount to debit. I know inside my bank balance 3000 rupees is there, right? So let's try to uh, debit some greater amount, that is 5000 rupees, right? So 5000 rupees I want, right? So you can see we are getting insufficient fund, and there is no money deducted from the bank balance, right? Everyone is clear with the ATM machine code? Yes or no? Please write in the chat. Okay, please write in the chat, guys, if it is clear, yes or no. Everyone? Yep, clear. Anyone has any doubt till this point? Clear, right? So shall we move to the next one, right? So here you can see, if you will see this part, that is the else if part. Inside the else if part, we are using one more if else, right? So this case is called a nested if, right? This case is called nested if. Last part of the code, which one? This line number 33. So here I am printing the bank balance, right? And this else part, that is if option is not equal to 1, and option is not equal to 2, that means you have entered some other key and that key will be the invalid option one, right? It is clear, right? So guys, the last part of today's session, and after that we will be ending the session, right? So the last part is what? Logical operator. Anyone from the audience who know anything about logical operator? Logical operator? Anything you know about logical operator? Any logical operator you know, guys? Yeah, Firoz, me, okay. Sir, anyone try to debit amount, but amount is zero. How to solve that? I have solved that part, right? Here you can see in the else if part, here, 1 minute, this one, right? In the else if part, here, if the bank balance is zero, right? This one, if the bank balance is zero and you want to debit some amount, let's assume you want to debit 300 rupees. So 300 rupees is greater than zero. So that's why I'm printing insufficient fund on the output screen. Now it is clear, Shankar? Okay, it is clear, right? So we have three logical operator, that is and, or, and not, right? And, or, and not. So let's try to understand this and, or, and not, and why we use and, or, and not, right? So let's start with the and operator, right? So what happened? Anirudh is here, like Anirudh, let's go meeting or what? Anirudh is here, right? So Anirudh is here. Okay. So Anirudh wants a driving license, right? Anirudh wants a driving license. So what will happen? Here is the inspector, okay, who is officer, who is checking whether person is eligible to take driving license or not, right? So officer will have two condition here, that is your age should be greater than equal to 18 year and you should know how to drive, right? You should know how to drive, right? So here let's assume we have this Abhay, right? Abhay is here and Abhay will go to the officer, right? So here we have two conditions first, right? The first condition is what? Age should be greater than equal to 18, and the second condition is what? He she must know how to drive. So Abhay is here and Abhay age is, let's assume it is 24, right? 24. But Abhay don't know how to drive. Okay, Abhay don't know how to drive. Can you guys tell me whether Abhay will get the driving license or not? Please write in the chat. Will Abhay get the will Abhay will be able to get the driving license? No, right? He will not get the driving license because the second condition is false. And in order to get the driving license, officer is saying ki, hey, both the conditions should be true. Right, everyone? He will not get the driving license, right? And now let's assume Firoz is here, right? So Firoz will go to the officer and Firoz age is, let's assume it is 17 and Firoz know how to drive the bike, right? Firoz know how to drive the bike. Again, officer will say ki, hey Firoz, your age is less than 18. Okay, it is less than 18. So you will also not get the driving license because the first condition is false. Now it is like Abhay and Firoz is there, right? So Anirudh will come, right? Anirudh will say ki, hey, my age is 21 and I know how to drive, right? I know how to drive. So officer will take the test and Anirudh is able to pass the test, right? So Anirudh know how to drive and this time both the condition are true. So the moment both the condition are true, Anirudh will get the driving license, right? And now my case, like my age is, let's assume 17 and I don't know how to drive, right? So both the cases are false here. In this case, also I will not get the driving license. So Anirudh will get the driving license, right? So Anirudh is my our hero, right? So here like this is very simple. Why I'm explaining this part, let's try to understand that part, right? So here you can see we have condition 1 and we have condition 2, that is condition 1 and condition 2, right? So how compiler execute the code, let's try to understand that part. So compiler is our officer, and officer is a very busy person, right? Officer is a very busy person. So tell me, so when Abhay will go to the officer, here Abhay, like he will see the Aadhaar card, like the Abhay age is 24. So he will say ki, hey, go Abhay and drive the bike, right? Abhay failed the test, so that's why he's not getting the driving license, right? So officer is doing what? Officer is checking both the condition. That is the first condition, second condition, and like officer is first checking the first condition. If the first condition is true, then officer is checking the second condition. Likewise, compiler is acting like a officer, and compiler will say ki, hey, I will check the first condition is true, I will check the second condition. Now that is, first I will execute the first condition, and you are using and, so I will go to the second condition and I will check the second condition is false, true and false, like the second condition is false, so the overall result is false in this case. Okay, again Firoz is there. Hello, now my voice is audible? Like I am audible? Please add in the chat, guys, if I am audible. Sir, no voice. Still no voice? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this part is clear, guys. Like you are able to understand this part? Yes or no? Please write in the chat. Should I explain the part again or like it is clear? Anyone? Clear, right? So let's move to the second one, that is the logical OR. Okay, OR operator. So this time we have a sale on Amazon, right? Like Amazon big billion day sale is there, and Amazon is giving a offer that is, hey, either you should have a Amazon Prime membership, right? Or the amount in the cart is greater than 5,000 rupees. So if any one of the condition is true, you will get 20% discount, right? You will get 20% discount if any one of the condition is true. So Abhay will go, and Abhay will say ki, hey, like Abhay is very happy, and Abhay will say ki, hey, I want to buy a MacBook. Okay, so the first condition is what? Amazon Prime. Okay, or the second condition is what? Amount should be greater than 5,000 rupees, right? So yeah, Abhay is very happy and Abhay wants to buy a like MacBook, okay, but he don't have the Amazon Prime, right? So here, let's assume MacBook cost 2 lakh rupees, right? So he has 2 lakh rupees. So the second condition is true, okay, but the first condition is false. Will Abhay get 20% discount? Yes, Abhay will get 20% discount because one of the condition is true. So Abhay will get the discount in this case. Okay. Now Firoz will come. Firoz will say ki hey, like Firoz also, like Firoz is a friend of Abhay and Firoz also want the MacBook. Okay. So Firoz is saying ki hey, I have the Amazon Prime membership also. Okay. And I want the MacBook also. Right. So here both the condition are true. Right. So Firoz will get the MacBook. Right. And now like Anirudh will come and Anirudh will say ki hey, true false and like false true. Okay, so Anirudh is saying ki, hey, I have the Amazon Prime membership. Okay, but I want to buy a simple like anything. Okay, cover. Okay, cover. So he wants to buy a cover of his iPhone. Okay, he has iPhone and Mac. 2000 rupees, right? 2000 rupees. So 2000 rupees. So here the first condition is true, but the second condition is false here, right? The second condition is false. So now here I am, Abhishek, right? And like I want to buy the cover, but I don't have any membership. Okay, I don't have any membership. So in my case, I will not get the discount of 20%, but Anirudh, Ajay and Firoz will get the discount here, right? So here if you will notice, if any one of the condition is true, the whole condition is true. In case of Abhay, the second condition is true. Firoz, first and second both the condition are true, and in Anirudh case, the first condition is true. So if you are using logical OR, and if any one of the condition is true, the whole condition is true, right everyone? And my compiler will be a very smart person, and compiler is saying ki, hey, I will, like for the Abhay case, I will check whether Abhay is having Amazon Prime membership. No, he is not having. So here I am having all. So compiler will execute the second condition also, right? Compiler will execute the second condition also. In case of Firoz, the first condition is true. That is Amazon Prime membership Firoz have. So compiler will say, ki, hey, there is no need to execute the second condition. So the first condition is true and Firoz will get 20% discount. There is no need to execute the second condition. Okay. In Anirudh case, the first condition is true. There is no need to execute the second condition. And in my case, the first condition is false. Second condition will be checked. Second condition is false. Since there is no true condition, so the overall condition is false. Okay, so this is a behavior of compiler behind the scene, and this is a very important concept, because in the interview or in the, like, if you are giving any MCQs, there they have question on if else, and in the if else they have question on logical or and logical and, right? So this is a very important point, right? So this is all for today's session, guys. In the tomorrow session, we are left with the iterative statement, and we will be discussing about the iterative statement. Then there is a project that is number guessing game, and after that we have time left, so we will be discussing about the oops pillar, right? So this is all for today's session, guys. So let me discuss the this attendance and all criteria, right? So here, this one minute, guys. Okay, so here, if you will see, we have the options for attendance assignment, right? So you can go to the attendance options from here, and so here you can see this one, right? Mark attendance button. From here you have to mark the attendance if you are liking the session, if you are like able to understand and you want to share the session to your friend and your batchmate, anyone, you can give the rating out of 10. We have 6 month Let's Upgrade full stack and data science program. You can, like, if you are interested in that program, you can click yes to it, right? And after that, if you have any suggestions, you can give the suggestions here, right? And after that you can submit the attendance. And after that we have one Java, okay, Java interview accelerator program, right? This one. So here you can see Java program. Okay, not this one. Career accelerator program. This one, guys, right? Let me open this program here, right? So here you can see Java interview accelerator program we have, and here you can see the USP of the program, that like you will be gone through all the data structure and there will be the live classes, okay, and you have 100 plus problem statement to solve, and these problems are the problems that are most frequently asked in the interview. And after that, here you can see the refund policy also. If you are getting the placement within 6 months, it is good. If you're not getting by any mean, your money will get refunded within 180 days after the completing the program, right? So here you can see the eligibility criteria, about the duration of the program, and about the fee structure, right? That is 5,900 rupees, right? So this batch is starting from 1st May to 2023, so you can enroll in this batch, okay? And after that, here you can see who all got placed from the Let's Upgrade team, okay? And here you can see what all we are going to learn, that is oops concept, jdbc, sql, dsa, intellij, and we have java, right? And here are expert trainer who are having more than 5 years of experience, that is 7 years, 14 years of experience, who will share you the, okay, who will share everything, okay, about their experience, how to crack any bank based company or any product based company, right? So they will be there to guide you, to mentor you, okay? So you can like take the advantage of this program that is going to start from 1st May 2023, right? And there is a community also, so you can go to that community and you will get the referrals, okay? There will be the community. If you have any questions related to anything, you can ask in that community also. So it is a very good opportunity for all of you, right, to enroll in this program, right? And yeah, so this is about the Java interview accelerator program. So certificate verified, yeah, certificate will be verified and you will get the certificate when you will mark your attendance on each day, right? We are in second semester now. What about placement if we enroll this course? Jagdish, it is all about like yeah. So that you have to see that part, right? So first try to cover that part. You can get the internship, right, Jagdish? If you are in the second year, then you can get the internship. That is in like if you are in the third year or in the fourth year, till that time you will get the internship. Okay, and it is not about this one itself, right? It is not about the placement itself. Okay, you will get the placement. So if you are like Jagdish, when I am at in the second year, I have followed a structured code itself, right? So you can take the structured code, you will you will get the proper understanding of all the concept, right? So it is very good to start from this time, right, Jagdish? Like you are paying attention, so that means you are attending the whole session. That means you are like very focused toward your goal, right? So this is a very right opportunity for you to excel in the problem solving skills. Those who are starting from the first year, second year, and they want a structured course, they want to start with a competitive programming, okay? So they can enroll in this course also, right? कर रहे हैं, try नहीं हो रहा है. Which type of internship? Okay, depends on the company to company, right? You can get a full stack internship upon like on front end or on the back end part, or some back end development internship. So it depends on the company to company, Jagdish, right? Login attendance नहीं खुल रहा है, guys. You will get access. Okay, try to refresh the page after 5 to 10 minutes. You will get the access, right? So this is all for today's session, guys. Hope you are able to get the clear idea of control statement and the variable part, right? So thank you for attending this session, guys. Okay, have a great night. Let me end the session now.